What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Make an Impact podcast with real stories, real people, and real impact. My name's Stephen Turnbull. I'm an entrepreneur, husband, and father on a mission to empower individuals to share their stories so they can make an impact on you. CJ Hanrahan is in the house today. Day job is Mohawk Valley EDGE. We didn't get too much into that. We talked about his impact on the Catalyst Young Professional Group, an amazing group specifically for young professionals in this area, a partner with the Utica Chamber of Commerce. We talked about what they're doing, their growth, how to get involved, and all the good stuff around the Catalyst Young Professional Group. You're really going to enjoy this episode with CJ. On to CJ Hanrahan. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Make an Impact podcast. We got my man CJ in the house. CJ Hanrahan. He's with Mohawk Valley EDGE, Catalyst Group, mob boss of young professionals of Utica. I told you I was going to say it, Mike. It's our show. We can say it. What's up, my friend?
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming in. All right. Someone watching this, first time somehow they've ever seen CJ. Yep. Who are you?
CJ Hanrahan. I am a local marketing guy here in Utica, New York. Work out of Rome at Mohawk Valley EDGE, but I do a lot of work in Utica and just all over Oneida County.
So I think you might be the first ever returning guest unofficially because you haven't been on the Make an Impact podcast, but we had you on the 5T5 before we kind of rebranded and did our thing here at our studio in New Hartford. But tell us the story, because I love the part of the story. I'm going to jump right to the chase about grew up here, went to school here, and we're looking for the next bus out. And then life happened. And before we started recording, you made a comment about, I'm done making predictions of what's going to happen and what's not going to happen. But tell us that story, and then we'll get into what we want to today.
So originally from Whitesboro, moved to Secoit when I was pretty young, graduated high school there. Then started out wanting to go and do environmental science and forestry. So I'm a big outdoorsy guy. Went to college ultimately for civil engineering at Mohawk Valley Community College. Started there, things were going great, finished my associates, went to SUNY Poly, and then was like, I don't know if I want to do this, for the rest of my life. So I pivoted to business, specifically marketing. And then that kind of took my, direction a different route. I was planning with my buddy at the time at SUNY Poly, when we graduated, we were going to move to Chicago. Just kind of like a get out of Dodge type deal. And the pandemic hit before I graduated, so that kind of messed with a lot of plans. Graduated during the pandemic, things were kind of all upside down, and I was looking at where I can go, what I can do, and started looking locally for jobs, eventually popped up at MVCC and at Thinkubator, a job popped up for small business development. It was an associate business advisor. So I was like, hey, I'm qualified for that. That sounds awesome. I'm gonna go for that. And I had no idea like where that was gonna take me, but it was not like your regular job. It was kind of like this mix of marketing, events, community development, business development, anything and everything. And from there, I started making, connections in the community. I met Carrie Paleo with the Utica Chamber. She goes, hey, there's this group called the Catalyst Young Professionals Group. I'm like, cool. I don't know what that is, but I'm down. Let's check it out. On top of that, too, I went to Center for Leadership Excellence. I went to the Leadership Mohawk Valley class. And those two things in tandem just flipped my whole perspective on what this area is, how much it has to offer. And I got to meet some really, really cool people from it, yourself included.
Thank you very much. Here's 100.
And, it was something that, now I'm kind of just trying to convey that message to the rest of the world and going, there was this stigma growing up about, hey, like, what is it? Last one out of Utica, turn the lights off, right? And it just, that's not it, man. It's about what people can do with the area and the potential that this place has. And
so take us back to going to Chicago. What was the why behind that? Because that was the mentality. That was
it.
the thoughts.
That was just it. It was nothing more. It was just like that kind of typical college kind of, bros hanging out. Like, let's go there. It seems cool. Right? Like, why not? Like, New York City's kind of played out. It's too busy. Chicago, no one really goes to Chicago. Let's check that out. And, that was it. I was just going to kind of go there and see where it went. And, like I said, I would have if it weren't for the pandemic. But, everything happens for a reason. And, it kind of redirected my focus to home.
Mm-hmm. Talk to me about the mindset behind CJ of, Carrie calls you up. We got this, catalyst group over here. Oh, I'll go check it out. It's a lot easy to say, oh, I'm busy that night. And I'm going to work our way into Catalyst itself because I really want to focus on what you guys have been able to do with that.
Yeah.
As I say, cleaning up my mess. But it's so easy to just not go to the event, to not meet that person for coffee, to not have the outreach. What is in it? What is in you that is the other way around? Of, I'll go check it out. I'll get involved with this. I'll do this. I'll do that.
Yeah. I think it's a matter of it's opportunity. It's kind of like cheesy, but like you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So if I'm here complaining about, I don't know people, I don't know what's going on, you can't just wait for someone to bring it to you. You have to be the initiator and go out and do it. So that's kind of my mindset with everything is going, I'll try it. You know what I mean? I'll go and I'll see what it's like. If it's worth my time, I'm going to stick with it. There's definitely been things that I go to and I'm just going to give it a whirl. And I go, I like what they're doing. It's great, but it's not for me. This wasn't one of them, and just being able to like talk to people who care. It helps every aspect of your life. Yeah,
it's funny you say that because you just kind of made me think back to when I started in the working world in 2016. When did we graduate? Yeah, 2016. I remember doing the same thing. I entrenched myself in much of the community as possibly could. Just went to every event. But I tell people, and people often say, well, you're everywhere, this and that. Well, not really. I have these core things that mean the chamber, Rotary, the networking group, whatever it is that mean well to me and either help myself, help my business, or I feel good giving back, whatever, insert here. But I think the key is to what you just said. Go to everything and try it, because that's exactly what I did. Like, there were groups I went to. I went to 1 or 2 meetings. Like, I don't see how this would work. Everyone's time's valuable, all that stuff. But then you find those things where you make friendships, you can make a difference, you can make an impact, you can do all these things, and you know those are your silos, right? So talk to us about diving into it. What is the Catalyst Group? What do you guys do, and all that good stuff?
Yeah, so Catalyst Young Professionals Group, the group would be upset if I didn't say we do business things. That's just kind of like the running slogan. It's a gag, but it's a young professionals group that is meant to give young people a place to grow, meet, and develop both personally and professionally in the Mohawk Valley and greater Utica area. That's kind of like the elevator pitch of it, but really what it is, it's just, I don't know, it's kind of like a little bit of everything. It's the friend group, it's a support group, it's a community development group. It's anything you want it to be. It just kind of depends on how much you want to get out of it, really.
And you're currently the chair of the group.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I just want to paint a picture for some people that are listening. Catalyst Group's been around for a while. I don't know how long.
11. I think this is year 12.
Okay. So I'm trying to think of how many years ago technically I'm still Catalyst because I'm under 40. Thank you. But probably 5 or 6 years ago, right? Would that make sense? That I was chair of the group and then went on to the board of directors for the chamber. And one thing that every time you guys put on an event, and I tell you this every time I see you, you already know what I'm going to say. Anytime you put on an event, anytime you do a post, anytime you guys are just crushing it. And it blows my mind. And this is why I wanted to have you on specifically to spotlight this. The involvement and the new people that you have that get involved. And I want you to get into that. But I think there has been, and people say this all the time, but I believe it. There's been such a shift post-COVID of people getting involved. I'm involved in the chamber. I'm involved in Rotary. I'm involved in different networking groups, all that. Attendance, involvement has all gone down. people got used to being at home. It is what it is. Let's just call it. They got used to spending that more time with their family instead of being at a networking event 4 nights a week, whatever it might be. Not with Catalyst. And it's insane. The amount of, I'll show up to an event and be like, hey, CJ, you're the only person here I know. And I feel like I'm somewhat involved, right?
Yeah.
But just talk to us about what you guys offer that has brought that new spark, I'll call it, and new energy that has led to your growth.
Yeah. Well, first off, it didn't happen overnight. The groundwork laid by everyone before me allowed this to happen. I think it took the right group of people to capitalize on that opportunity. But my philosophy, and this is what has been working, is just, being a real person to other people. I go and I tell everybody we are not a networking group. We're not. That's not what we do. You want to hand out business cards, go to a business after hours. There's already a great thing that people do.
Sure.
And the biggest thing that I heard from folks, especially around my age, was I don't want to be harassed by, I'll sell you this. Oh, have a meeting with me on this and that and everything. And I was like, you know what? These things happen passively, right? Like, say I know a guy named Bob and he's a painter, right? Oh, that's great. That's really cool. Nice to meet you. We get to become friends, hang out. I get to know him as a human. A year goes by and I need someone to paint my house for me.
Who are you going to call?
I'm going to call Bob because I know Bob. You know what I mean? Like that's how it works. So I go, well, it's just going to happen passively.
Yeah.
So just say, don't worry about it. It'll just work. But you have to put in the time to just meet people and do something different. So that's really it. I mean, I want to say there's like some elaborate strategy that kind of works. It's just being a real human. You can't beat it.
Yeah. You know what's interesting is I'm just realizing this in real time here too. And I described essentially to the chamber in a whole how you have described it of, I do insurance, that's great. I'm not sitting there like, hey, I need a quote. Hey, if you ever need me, this is what I do. Nice to meet you. Let's go grab a drink, whatever it is. When I sit here and look at some of the people that are on your steering committee now, which is essentially the board of Catalyst for those who don't know, it's not all people that own a business, are salespeople that need relationships to feed their everyday business. Does that make sense what I'm trying to get to? I mean, it's people that work for large corporations that they don't care if you buy from them or not. They're just doing their job, whatever, but they want to be involved still.
Yeah.
Talk about the different ways that you guys have mixed up the involvement, because there's so many, and I think this is, I'm not going to speak for you, one of your main reasons of success too is because there's so many different ways to get plugged in. There's that low pressure, come have a drink. There's that we're doing this volunteer. Talk about all that.
Yeah. So, the people, the crew that we have at Catalyst now is the whole reason why it is doing well. To your point, they're just, they're not business owners. They're just people who want to do more in the community. And a lot of that was kind of like, not referral based, but kind of it was like, I have a friend who would be perfect for this. And that's kind of how it grew to what it is. We also realized too that this is an opportunity to get people to experience things locally that they normally wouldn't. So the best example I have is like Silk, the cocktail lounge in Bag Square. When it came out, people were like, that's really cool. It looks really interesting. I've never been. It's a little intimidating. It's a little different. I feel, who do I go with? Is it a date spot? Do I go with friends? I don't know. So I went, because that's just who I am. I went with my girlfriend. I'm like, we're just going to check it out. If it's weird, it's weird. I don't care. Went, had a great time, and talked to the owner a little bit. And then we're like, we should bring more people in here. We have Catalyst is that perfect excuse to go to the place and do the thing. So for someone who, let's say they're not in a relationship, they can't go on a date night, or they're new to the area and they don't have a friend group. Well, what's your excuse to ever go to Silk? You're not just going to go and hang out. And that's just one example. So we did a meetup, right? So we just promoted it. We talked to the business owner. We did a few videos. And I will say, too, a lot of the success comes from a lot of marketing people on our team. So we just understand the trends, right? Like everyone before was doing like a Facebook group, and we're like, let's maybe go to some Instagram stuff. And then that helped out a lot, and LinkedIn as well. But we looked at Silk, and we're just like, let's get people in the door. And we mobbed the place. It was crazy. I apologized to the owner. Like, no. This is like one of the best nights we've had so far. And then people afterwards were like, you know what? I wouldn't have come here unless it was like this reason. You're kind of like herd mentality, right? Like, you're not there alone. No, you're with Catalyst, right? And we just kind of kept running with that mentality with things and going, we're just going to mob a place and bring a group. You know what I mean? You want to kind of have a safe space to check something out. Come hang out with us. And people love it.
And I love how that's kind of, you're checking off two boxes. You're supporting a business, but you're also supporting the young professionals in the community that wouldn't go out on a Thursday night to Silk or go out wherever.
Yeah.
Or, to meet people, make new connections, friendships, all that stuff.
Yeah. It's like that mentality of like, do you go to the movies by yourself kind of thing? Some people are like, nah, I'd rather just stay home, or that scares me to death. And it's like, that's a real thing. So don't go to someone and go, just get over it. No. I mean, everyone's different. So especially with the pandemic, people's minds went more to a secluded kind of, I'm just going to stay home. You have to be welcoming and kind of guide them to a thing.
Sure.
I've found.
Sure.
And people do it on their own. Don't get me wrong, but there's some people who like they want that excuse in that group to go and do it.
Yeah.
It's been working.
Yeah. Ready for this pivot? What has Catalyst taught you?
Ooh, Catalyst has taught me a lot. Like it's one of those things that at first was just like a work thing, and it grew into something way more. All my really good friends now, all from Catalyst, the people who I hang out with weekly and talk to, the ones who I will want in my wedding one day, a lot of them are in Catalyst. It taught me how to be a leader, first off, which is huge. Not many people at my age get that experience of like leading a team and having projects and kind of the freedom and creativity to kind of handle those things. So that has been huge for my professional growth. It's also taught me to be a lot kinder, honestly, and that goes back to that welcoming people, and understanding where they're coming from and going, hey, no, they can't just get over it. They need someone to help them, right? And kind of like, I'll say a little bit more of like selflessness, and I'm not trying to sound like glorified. I'm not doing that, but it's like, I give up my free time for all this stuff.
Sure.
And it's just, it matters and people need it. Yeah. So I have this mentality of like, well, who's going to do it? No one's coming to save me. So I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? If I can even just give someone the opportunity to be great, then I did my job and I step out of the way.
How long have you been chair?
This is my second year.
Okay, so let me ask you this: when you were approached with the idea of you being a chair, was there any part of you that said, "I don't know if I'm the guy. I don't know if I should be the one to step up and do it"?
A little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Like I consider myself a confident person, but there's always that like, oh wow, I'm like gonna be the one leading a team and developing these ideas, and I was really nervous to do it, but I felt like it was the best opportunity to do it in a more controlled environment. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm reporting to my boss, right? This isn't my livelihood. Granted, I'm working with a lot of people I do work with. It kind of was an opportunity to develop an alter ego, so like Bruce Wayne and Batman kind of thing. So that's been kind of cool. I'm very glad I did do it. But yeah, I was a little nervous at first.
Yeah. Well, I asked you that because I wanted you to answer that, obviously, but that's been your story all along, is like introducing, just doing it. Like, I'm going to do it. And then, but now leading that group is part of I think it's just the young professional spin on it, if you will, because obviously that is so beneficial. I mean, I look back at myself when I was chair 6-7 years ago. I'm trying to think, sitting here, how long ago it was, whenever it was. When I was chair, like that was the first time I was running a board meeting, right? Yeah. When I was making sure that Mike was doing what he was supposed to do and CJ was doing what he was supposed to do, so we could have this outcome of whatever that outcome is. And that opportunity is so valuable for somebody that's not only a young professional, and I know of a couple of the committee members, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, either they moved here from out of the area and had nowhere to go, or they been in the area and all their friends went away to school and they had no one left and found that group to connect with and grow not only personally and professionally. Talk about just more specifically for people that are watching this, some of the opportunities to get involved. We talked a lot about the structure and all that, but some of the things you guys do and all some stuff coming up.
Yeah. So the bread and butter is we do monthly meetups at a local business or community happening. So we did this month. We're going to be at Crust on the 28th. So that's the new Crust, not the one in Rome, the one in Utica. So that's an easy way for you to just pop in, have a beer after work kind of thing, and hang out. We also wanted to make sure that there wasn't just, drinks and bars and restaurants. That's not the whole thing. So we do volunteer opportunities. We just did a park cleanup in Proctor Park a few weeks ago for Earth Day. That's another one. So we do a lot of different volunteer opportunities. We volunteer at Boilermaker. Once in a while, we might do any type of organization might reach out to us and say, hey, can you help bring people to kind of bolster our volunteer network? And we'll do it if we have the capacity, right? Like we'll send a few people. So that's another great way to get involved. And also just through the chamber, like any type of like business after hours meetings and stuff like that. So those are kind of like the three best ones I can give. But we do a lot of events. We do different like fundraisers, like I said, and we're just kind of out and about. Sometimes we just do casual, just impromptu, hey, we're all hanging here. Anyone wants to stop by, do it.
Yeah. I'm going to put you on the spot here. You don't have to use any names, but I know there's plenty of like success stories. Mm-hmm. So I want to kind of wrap this up with stories of, we'll call him Bob, whoever you want to call him.
Sure.
Stacy. Mm-hmm. Got another name? Mike, if you want to call him Mike. To just tell us some of the cool, because I know of a few, but I want you to just tell us some of the cool success stories. It can be as your time as chair or your time being involved in Catalyst of what it's impacted young professionals in the area. Yeah.
So like specifically like someone else's story to benefit from it.
Or just in general.
You know what? I'll say one because, Chris Micah is one of them. So DJ Roscoe Red, he was with us through Catalyst. We met him through a friend of a friend, and he came in and, he did some great work with us. He was at KISS FM at the time. And when he was looking for a change, and through his work with Catalyst, he got a direct kind of plug with the chamber, and now he's working with the chamber full time. So that's just like one minor example. We've also had other people who just, like I said, they have that opportunity to like lead a project and do something really great. Mike Marcio, another one. So Mike is a big community guy, and when he got the opportunity to run our Jingle Jam fundraiser, I mean, he loves it. He runs with it full tilt, and he makes it amazing. And, it's just a fundraiser for a youth program in the city of Utica. And I've never seen him get more passionate about something ever. The other parts, too, is just, like, opportunities to just do cool stuff, right? Like, we just had some guys, one's from New York City, one's from Boston. They just joined. We had to create a subcommittee because we didn't have enough room on the steering committee. So we have two separate groups now.
Good problem.
All tied into it. They came and they were like, we didn't have anywhere to go, new to town from the city, found you guys, and it's been awesome. They were in the parade with us, St. Patrick's Day parade. They got to meet a ton of people, just come and hang out. And then we've heard feedback from other people, like out of Rochester and Syracuse. So like, wait, you guys can just like build a float and be in the parade? And that's kind of wild. Like you can just do that here? I'm like, yeah, like the opportunities are crazy. Like the city kind of embraces everyone to just kind of do something cool and interesting. And not everywhere is that welcoming to younger people like they are here. There's a lot of room to just kind of do whatever.
Mm-hmm. At its core for you, what does the word relationships mean?
That's a tough one.
Talk about putting them on the spot.
Well, I think relationships are the key to everything. It matters with your family. It matters with your friends. It matters with work. I always view it kind of like, you can do a job and be there with somebody, just checking the box, so to speak. But what makes a job even better is that relationship with somebody to collaborate and build off that idea and make it even bigger and better and develop some crazy new idea, new thing. relationships kind of drive change in everything about it. You know, if you don't have a relationship, and that relationship doesn't have to be just with a person to person, it's person to a place, you know. So my relationship changed with this area, going from kind of, you know, we're going to see other people to, no, I'm going to give this a go. I'm going to kind of water my own garden and see what can happen from this. And, you know, that's like the secret sauce. It's like, you know, I'm trying. And, you know, with one person just doing something, just one good thing, or getting involved in doing something, it can have a ripple effect that you don't even understand. It takes time. That's the big thing too, especially nowadays, you know, instant gratification and all that. It's tough to convince people to go, hey, stick with it for a year, maybe 2. And they're like, that's a lot of time. And I go, but if you do it, it's going to be something even better. And it's building that relationship, you know. People are just so into this kind of disposable type relationship, you know, whether it be, hey, you know, I'm on Instagram and I'm flipping through reels, right? Like my relationship with that thing is 2 seconds. What if you watched like a podcast like this and you got to learn more about it or listen to it and gave your attention to something? You build that relationship and it gets bigger and better and you never go back.
Now, I like that pivot. Now, are you saying that with some of the young professionals you're working with and new people that join the group and all that, that's what you're kind of seeing is the time?
Yeah. It's
interesting.
It's giving them an opportunity to do whatever they want within reason, of course.
Yeah.
But that's it. It's like I see it with, you know, a lot of people my age is they feel down about the way the world's going right now. And a lot of it too is like, you know, there's a lot of like older people than us running everything. And if you can just tell somebody, speak to them like a human and go, hey, your ideas matter. And now you can actually paint a picture with them. You know what I mean? Here's an opportunity to do that. They love it. It means more than anything because that's the only, you have to give an opportunity. And I think that's just been one of the most fulfilling things about doing this is just here's the canvas, right? Go paint whatever you want. I'm going to step aside.
Man, that's cool. I didn't see it going that way, but I like that a lot. Wrapping up here, who can get involved? How can you get involved with Catalyst? Who can get involved? Where do you get involved?
Anybody can get involved. Technically, it's professionals 40 and under, but that's really only really only for serving on the steering committee. So just the board. So the mentality behind that is just have younger people kind of make the decisions for what younger people want in the area. Anybody's welcome at our events. Best way to get involved, check out our Instagram, Catalyst Young Professionals, LinkedIn, same tag, newsletter, chamber website. You can find the Catalyst and sign up right at the bottom. Best ways to stay in touch. We always update everything through monthly newsletter and Instagram posts.
Awesome. CJ, appreciate you being here. Talk real quick about Edge, too, because we didn't before we wrap this up, because you've been there for 2 years now.
2 years now, yeah.
2 years now. Yep. Everyone probably thinks Catalyst is your day job here now.
Probably. That's kind of one of the things, too. But no. So, like, going back to, like, the Bruce Wayne and Batman kind of mentality, I'll consider Batman is probably Catalyst. Bruce Wayne is Edge. EDGE is the local economic development group here in the Mohawk Valley. We help businesses grow, bring manufacturing and different jobs to the area, help out communities, give people more opportunity, and just grow and strengthen the Mohawk Valley economy.
Awesome. Well, thank you for all you've done. Like I said, every single time I see you, I'll continue to say the same thing. But it's just, I think about Mike Popowski was chair, and now you're chair, and there's just so many great people that have, I don't want to say rebirth, but I'll call it rebirth because it was after COVID.
Yeah.
So I will call it rebirth. But it was hard to get people involved, and you guys put this new spin on it, and what you're doing is just incredible for the area and beyond. So thank you for everything that you do. I appreciate your time being here, everybody. That's another episode of the Make an Impact podcast. Until next time, go out there, lead with purpose, and make an impact in someone's life today, even if that's your own. My name's Stephen Turnbull. We'll see you next week. Take care.